Hey guys, Rob from the Off-Grid Tiny House. Been a busy boy. I threw all the foam in between the totes and shower, moved a bunch of stuff over, disconnected the stove again because I have to remove this guy because these wall panels are being removed and replaced because of the height screw up here. Something happened. It's not good. They got to be replaced. So I have this wall to seal up too. So I believe I have enough pieces, 1, 2, 3, and then 4 to replace anything in here. And I figure when I put these new sheets up, they'll be a little longer, so this might be being a smaller piece in here. Who knows? So I'm going to use these as a template though for the window cutout and the stove flue cutout. So I gotta use the old pieces for that. I took the cement board out here to get access to the screws to take this panel out and this one. And yeah, it is smoking hot in here. I haven't turned my temperature probe back on yet, but this one's reading 25.9 Celsius in the back. It's 20 after 11. Yeah, just crazy. So one of my Patreon members said he doesn't want me doing this. What I'm going to do right now is walk and talk. So I'm going to try to set the camera down and talk to you guys for a little bit instead, just for him and anybody else who doesn't like that sort of deal. So I gotta flip this guy around, set you on the wood stove, and there we go. So I'm gonna grab my water for just a second because it is smoking hot in here still. What I have running right now is I'm charging my vacuum because I've used it multiple times today. Recharging my DeWalt battery tool drills, doing those. The fridge is working fantastic. Ice cold water again. This is my last bottle, so I'm gonna enjoy it. And I'm now collecting rainwater again, which is fantastic. The only thing I have running back there is the radio and my Auric XL professional air cleaner. And I got it on high, and it's cleaning the air, filtering the air while moving some air around in the tiny house. And I can even feel it from back here, which is nice. So it definitely does my entire space, which I love. And it's gonna clean up all this construction crap in the air. I'm gonna probably leave it running basically 24/7. Well, during the day I'll leave it running 24/7. Like just during the sunlight hours, because overnight I haven't really tested it to see how much it would drain the batteries down. And unfortunately, the bad news is the supplier of my batteries told me late July I should have had the batteries available again. Didn't happen. We're closing in on the end of August, and it's not looking good for batteries, guys, unfortunately. So in the meantime, I'm just going to finish the tiny house off. I'm going to invest that battery money into some stain, some paint, and kind of seal, get the paint, get the inside painted, touched up, looking nice again, and go from there. So that's basically all I can do for now, guys. It's the way it is. But a lot of works went into the tiny house. You guys have seen over the years and past, especially this summer, I've had to really hunker down and hit the tiny hard and get it done. Now I ran out of Eternal Bond tape because I used the rest of it up. And I ordered one more roll to finish taping the back door of the tiny house, sealing it, all the seams. And any other odds and ends I think need doing. Now, I used the Eternal Bond tape up in the gutters system of the rain catchment harvesting center. So hopefully, I caught more water than, I believe I caught twice as much as what's in the tank because I can see the water mark, the water line. But unfortunately I had a small leak on the input of the IBC tote, which you guys seen me earlier tighten up with the pipe wrench, and it solved it. I haven't seen any drips since. What a pain in the butt that I lost some. But at least where the water dripped down, it dripped down, escaped the tiny house. The floor is absolutely sealed with the polyurethane treatment, so shouldn't have any issues there. But I had to do I had to get a test run in to see if I was going to have leaks. So that, fortunately for me, Mother Nature provided a decent rain that knocked one of my medical plants over last night. But I saw it before I was going to bed, so I tipped it back up and everything's fine. So I don't have to water those guys today because they got absolutely drenched last night. And now that the leak's fixed in the IBC tote, I shouldn't lose any more water. Now, my new filtering setup with the rocks in the stainless steel strainer seemed to be working awesome. Mother Nature is the best at filtering water. So I just incorporated it here, and it seemed to do quite wonders for me so far. And it was a very, very cheap fix. It was a stainless steel strainer from the dollar store and a bag of river pebbles from the dollar store. That's it. Water pours directly over the stones. The water snakes through its way through the stone filter, and then down through the strainer holes at the bottom and into my system where it is filtered again, and it's looking a lot cleaner. And even I was catching dew off the roof, just dewdrops off the roof, and it was it was like pristine clear. So pretty amazing, guys. So that's going to solve a lot of issues right there. It'll stop my filters from being harshly abused by filtering, whereas most of it's caught out by the rocks outside, and pretty sweet. Gotta love that setup now. So, I don't know what more I will get done today, but I think I want to do these panels at least and take off the flue for the chimney here and go from there. I kind of don't want to cut wood today because it's so wet out from our thunderstorm last night, and it's not really cured and evaporated yet. It's not really dry out there yet, and you know it's gonna suck for cutting lumber because it'll get wet, it'll blah blah blah. But I'll see what I can do. I'll see if I get ambitious here. I think I will. We'll pull these panels and go to town. So anyways, hopefully my Patreon member appreciates me not doing the walking talking because they get dizzy, I guess. With the background moving, I guess. But anyways, tiny house is getting somewhat back together. Can't even talk. But all these foam pieces I'm gonna have to discard. My dad has his solar panel came. I don't know if you guys know. He wants his own little solar setup now that he's likes mine running his system and blah blah blah. So he's just running lights, possibly a radio, some very basic stuff. So he just bought a 100-watt panel, threw it up. We're gonna throw it up. I've wired everything in, switches, disconnects. I haven't put fuses in yet, but it says I need a 15 amp fuse for his solar panel. So we got to put a fuse into it in line, And other than that, I gave him a PWM charge controller and one of my red mod sine wave inverters. So we just have to go ahead and, you know, do the deal here just to get it going once he shows up. So we may end up doing that today or another day. It all depends. Oh, update on my brother. The guy paid everything in full twice because apparently there was some added costs that he had to cover. So that's a good thing. And my brother may be getting the vehicle back by the end of this week or possibly next week. So we'll be doing another run down there to exchange vehicles and such, and that'll be cool. Visit my brother, what's going on, all that stuff, and go from there. So a lot going on, guys. Work has been absolutely crap for me, completely dead. So that sucks, but I'm not spending a whole lot of money other than some, you know, purchases for the tiny house, the Eternal Bond tape. That was the most costly thing on the repairs at the tiny house was the Eternal Bond tape. I ordered like, what'd I get? 4 or 5 rolls so far total. And well worth it. Well worth it. So I got one more roll coming and that should completely cover me. I'm gonna go up and set the ladder up before I leave to see the moisture caught in my containers just above in the bedroom area, just below the solar panels. I don't know where that water's getting in, and it's a shame, but the one thing I do know is it's not coming in at a very fast rate. It's like very slow drips, completely really slow. So by the time the water's in the container and then between the next rain shower, the container doesn't fill up whatsoever and the water evaporates. So it's like a little humidifier going on. Not good. I don't think it'll mold because it's spray foam, and it's between aluminum and spray foam, so I'm not exactly sure if that would ever mold in there. It's just one of these pain in the ass things that I got to deal with. Considering the roof gets very warm all the time because if it's aluminum and it takes the conductivity with heat, and then the foam barrier which kind of just insulates that heat. I'm sure it's too hot up there for the mold to grow, being hot cold like that all the time. I don't know, it's just one of these things we're dealing with here, guys. We'll figure it out sometime, but in the meantime I'm getting the rest of the place sealed. I didn't see any leakage whatsoever in the corners, so that means the Eternal Bond tape's working, the rocker guard's working, and the foam's working. So no other problem areas all along here, which is fantastic. And you know, I'm going to be vigilant checking all the time my containers in different areas up here now that I have this open chase and I can get up there and see what's going on. So at least I can mitigate it until I figure out a fix. And that's basically all I can do. As ugly as it may be, it has to be there. And it gives it breathability too. But I also have these holes up here, 1, 2, 3, that I poked through thinking I'd be running different wires and cables through for the whack of solar panels I had. Never got to it. I'm thinking about incorporating those pipes though to make some kind of a system with 12-volt fans to suck heat out of the tiny house and bring cold air in. To some degree. So we'll have to figure out some kind of a setup for that as well, but that's later on when money's available and I'm working again and have some plans further along than that. So we'll see what happens. I'm gonna get back to it.